Hey, Pharmacy Tech, congratulations on completing your Pharmacy Tech class and good luck on getting your results back for your state boards. When you're at this point in the process, it is time to update your resume. So we are going to create a resume today with the idea that you are going to pass your boards, and we're going to work on getting you a position that requires you to be a certified pharmacy technician. So let's start. I know we've already covered the basics of resume writing, but let's refresh on a couple of things. The top 1/3 of your resume is the most important real estate on your resume because you have on average 7.4 seconds to capture a recruiter's attention based on the latter's eye tracking study for them to either determine they're going to call you in for an interview or not. And remember, the goal of your resume is to get an interview, it's not to get a job. So all of the things that we learned in the resume writing class, you are going to implement here today. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that way you can see the sections a little bit more clearly. So your contact information, remember, you do not want to use the header or footer for important information because applicant tracking systems cannot read that. So you want to just start right off here. You are going to be able to use this template, don't worry, or you can create a template from scratch. So I found this pharmacy technician logo on Google, so I found the hex code for this color and use the same color here to add just a little bit of color to your resume for visual appeal. If you don't want to add color, that's fine. You just go to font, change the color. If you want to find a different icon, that's fine too. All right, so you want to put your first and last name in, and then afterwards you want to put your credential in. So a certified pharmacy technician credential looks like this. You want to make sure you put in your address. Remember, don't add the street part for safety reasons. Your resume is not a legally protected document. Your application is. So your resume can just be out there and, you know, someone could potentially come to your house. So just for safety reasons, you just want to put your location in terms of town, state, and zip code. You want to add a valid phone number for you so that way people can find you. You want to add your email address. And then also, we worked on building LinkedIn, a LinkedIn profile. So you want to put your LinkedIn, your customized LinkedIn URL right here. So that way your header, you know, looks nice and professional. Remember from the eye tracking study, either your header needs to be centered or left aligned. And that's because people read from left to right. So left to right, down, left to right. So people read in the E or in the F format. So that means the top information is going to be the most important, and potentially when you get down to the bottom, if they're really skimming, they're not even going to complete the E, they're just going to leave it off the F, and they're not even going to see the bottom of your information. But back up to the top. You want to immediately market yourself as whatever it is that you're going for. So you're going after a pharmacy technician position, so go ahead and put it, certified pharmacy technician. And then you want to immediately prove your value. So how do you do that as a student? Well, you completed Job Corps' rigorous certified pharmacy technician training program. So program. You passed your exam, your nationally certified pharmacy technician exam. You completed hands-on training wherever it is that you completed hands-on training. You know, you're going to have to go ahead and switch this. So completed hands-on training at wherever you completed it at. And then something about what you did that makes you stand out from other people. So you completed your pharmacy technician program with multiple people. What made you stand out compared to your peers? So maybe you excelled at inventory management, math calculations, or pharmacology. So whatever it may be, add that there. So I wouldn't go more than 4 bullet points. I chose check marks, but you can also do the circles too. You go under paragraph, and then the bullet library is up here. So you can go ahead and change that. I personally like how the check marks are, but A resume is your professional marketing document, so you can make it look how you feel confident going in and submitting this. So under the skills section, lots of different ways to list your skills. You do not want to use a table on your resume. Remember, applicant tracking systems can't read content that are in tables. So you want to just type this information out and then use the space bar to separate them, to center them. So let's say you want to add in some more skills. That might be the case. So then maybe you want to make them closer and then separate them with a dash. So that would be fine. Lots of different ways to format your resume. And then to get them, so let's say you want to do that, we can go ahead and do that. Let's see, is it going to let us? Yep. And we can fill them with dashes, or separate them, I should say, with dashes. So hopefully throughout your time you've been practicing Microsoft Word, so this is a breeze for you. You may need to add in more skills based on what the job description is asking for. Remember, you want every single application that you fill out, you want to tweak your resume to make sure that your resume is a reflection of that application. So this is another way to list your skills, by combining them all together. But see, when you combine them all together visually, it's harder to see what it is because all the words are so close, it's really difficult to skim. So if you feel that you need to add in a bunch more skills, maybe you do need to condense them like this. But if not, go ahead and keep them spaced out so that way they are easier to see. So multiple options on how to list the skills. I just showed you 2 options, but there's plenty more options. Let me make sure I didn't delete anything else that was important. Okay, so we've got your contact information. We've got your professional branding statement and your top accomplishments. We've got a skills section. Now we've got certifications and education. So you can have certifications and education together, or you can separate them off. So when we had them together, it looked a little crowded. So I'm going to separate them out and move, instead of it being education and certifications, certifications, and then education. So to get that underline underneath education, go up to paragraphs, and then go to the border section, and then you just do the underline. Now up here, this underline is a little bit thicker, and that's because I went to borders and shadings, and then you can change the width and even the color of the underline. So if you've been practicing Microsoft Word, you should know how to do all this kind of stuff. If you haven't been, this might be a little overwhelming for you, but don't worry. You can use this template and then just customize this template based on your information. So as a pharmacy technician, you should pharmacy technician licensed by the Illinois State Board of Pharmacy. Change the date to whenever you got it. You should have become CPR certified. Change the date to whenever you got it. You should have become certified in basic life support. Change the date to whenever you got it. And then your education. You've been attending Paul Simon Job Corps. So you want to potentially add some information about related coursework on here. And you may not. You could always do this and just have it with nothing there. But if you want to add your related coursework to show that you did learn these type of competencies, you can keep them on there. And then wherever you got your high school diploma from, so maybe you got it from CPS, maybe you got your equivalent while you were at Job Corps, put that information here. And then of course, change the date to whenever it applies to you. So related experience is going to be different than professional experience. So maybe you've worked at a retailer before, but that's not related to being a pharmacy technician. So whatever hands-on training you got while you were here, you want to add that to this section right here. So say you did an internship, your hands-on learning at CVS Pharmacy. So your content here and these bullet points are going to be important because this is going to be related to the job you're applying for. So maybe during your internship, your hands-on learning, whatever you want to call it, you assisted on average 30 customers per day, and you responded to inquiries and problems that those customers had. So maybe while you were in your hands-on learning, you pre-packaged common medications for the head pharmacist. And so what is the point in pre-packaging common medications? The point is it saves time. And so you want to add that. What is the reason that you're doing that? Because it saves time. It resulted in 20% faster order completions. When you're in your internship, I'm hoping you're asking these questions. By pre-packaging these medications, how much time does that save? How much money does that save? Because all of that kind of stuff is things that you want to put on your resume. So potentially, did you do this in your internship? Did you work on authorization requests? Did you work on billing procedures? Did you have to handle cash flow? You know, when we were checking somebody out, did you scan their credit card? Did you take their form of payment, whatever it may be? Did you ever have to stock shelves? If you were in your internship and they had you stock shelves, that may have seemed really boring when you were in your hands-on learning, but it's actually important. Why? Because it saves the company time and it saves the company money. So you oversaw inventory levels. You implemented processes. See the spell check. Got a spell check. Implemented processes to ensure 100% stock availability while increasing inventory turnover. So instead of saying stock shelves, no, you made sure that the shelves were 100% stocked. So that's going to help with increasing inventory turnover. So if there's medication in a box and a customer comes up to fill their prescription and it's not on the shelf, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have that. But if you fill those shelves, then you're going to be able to sell it. And when you were in your hands-on learning, did anybody give you a compliment? So maybe, you know, you're not going to get an award or anything like that when you're in your hands-on learning, but maybe somebody positively commented on how efficient or accurate you were at whatever it may be. You can add things like that that vouch for your credibility on your resume. So hands-on learning, really important for related experience, but then you might have additional experience. So say you work at Forever 21 downtown. So you want to try to create that content that relates to the job you're going for. So instead of saying, you know, you gave customer service, provided compassionate customer service and accurate payment processing in a fast-paced location. Why add that compassionate? It's kind of fluffy, right? But it makes it less about retail and more transferable, that transferable customer service skill to also relating to customers who are coming up getting medication. So what about feedback? So, you know, every store gets customer satisfaction surveys. When those managers are, oh, we got a bad review, or oh, we got a good review, that matters. So receive 90% plus positive feedback in random customer service satisfaction surveys. And then, you know, prove that you're not going to cause problems at that job. Go-to person for resolving customer complaints and employee disputes. So this may not be accurate to you at all, but whatever it is you did, you want to take it to the next level. If you're struggling with figuring out what to say, that's what I'm here for. I'll help you through that. But just saying, you know, you provided customer service or you worked the cash drawer isn't going to cut it for you having a professionally looking resume, and it's definitely not going to help you. You know, 50 cents on your base salary is going to make a difference at the end of the year. You having a quality resume is the difference between potentially what you are going to make. So up here, you see how I have layout margins. Right now I have moderate margins. And that's because you want plenty of white space on your resume, but ideally with only having a little bit of experience, you only want to have it on one page. So you can actually just go down to right here and lower it just a little bit to keep your interest on the first page. Now, everybody doesn't need an interest section. If you're not interesting, or if your interests don't relate to what the job has to revolve around, then you don't want an interest section. I don't have an interest section. A lot of my interests aren't relevant to the work that I do. However, if yours do, add it. So maybe you volunteer, maybe you listen to podcasts. So this right here is a pharmacy technician podcast. Add something like that on there, only if it's true to you. All right, so the takeaway is resumes are a professional marketing tool that showcase your unique value proposition that is going to catch the reader's attention in less than 7.4 seconds with the goal of getting the interview. Now let's go ahead and open up another one. Actually, I'll stop here and I'll record another one for pharmacy tech, but this is just one example of how to write a pharmacy tech resume.